I want to welcome you to Church History. It will be a pleasure to see you again, and in the 8 weeks that we share together, we're going to explore the history of the church from the time all the way back to Pentecost, the early apostles, to the present time. That is a long time. That's a solid 2,000 years. But we're going to have a lot of fun doing this. Obviously, there's no way we can talk about everybody and everything in every place. We're going to pull out and highlight some of the most interesting people and some of the most significant things that have happened along the way. Church history is a story. It is a story of God's redemptive activity in the world and what that has looked like over the last 2,000 years. And sometimes it's the story of those who have worked against God's redemptive purposes in the world. And as you will see, there's a very close connection between history and theology. This is what makes it church history. Secular history, for example, might talk about the same people and the same events and the same dates. But church history talks about it from the perspective of the presence of God and the activity of God and what He is doing throughout all of this time. And so we're going to be exploring church history from that particular perspective. One might be able to put it this way: history flows like a river. In other words, it is in constant motion. Every day is a new day and more history is done. Theology is like a growing garden. And what we're going to see is that there's this beautiful relationship between the flowing river of history and the growing garden of theology. So we're going to be exploring both of them. They are hand in hand as we go forward in the next several weeks. Typically, history will address such questions like, when did something happen? Who is involved? How did it happen? Where did it happen? Those are essential questions about church history. There's one question that we are going to set time for each week. That I think is going to be a lot of fun and something that we typically might not think about, and that is why. Why do things happen? For example, in our first week, we will also talk about why were the Christians persecuted and some of them martyred, losing their lives. When we get to somebody like Martin Luther, we'll talk about why did he respond the way he did, and why did he write what he did and make it a public event? And so I think we're going to have a lot of fun and a lot of interesting moments as we follow the story of church history. And then each week, as we carve out a little time to talk about the why behind all of that. And I'm sure that we're going to be able to see some connections between the story that has gone before us, the story that we are now living in, and the story that is ahead of us. In our course, our textbook will be Bruce Shelley's Church History in Plain English, 4th edition. Very readable. I think you're going to very much enjoy it. And when you look at the syllabus, you'll see that there are select chapters each week. And so you'll enjoy that. This is not a required text, but if you would like to take a look at it or get it for yourself, you might find it very helpful. I have, just as a very concise way of putting the whole story together. This is Christian History Made Easy by Timothy Paul Jones. So anyway, might be something you wish to take a look at and see if you want to add it to your library. I look forward to being with you, as I always do. I look forward to the stories that we're going to tell together. And I think we're going to have a great time. I know that we will. So take a look at the syllabus. Let me know if you have any questions. and I will look forward to seeing you for week 1 in church history. Thank you.